Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about Dueling Network and ways to improve it. So this is a topic I've wanted to bring up for a while. Just to give you my initial kind of history, I've been playing on Dueling Network for a pretty long while, and I started to play more on Devpro as time went on when I started to get a little more fed up with Dueling Network for certain reasons, and I'll go into that a bit. But really this video is about talking about ways that I think Dueling Network could be made a lot better and make it more accessible for people, because I think it could be a really great service if it just had some, some big improvements, some minor improvements, and I would really like to see that down the line. So I wouldn't be going to DevPro, all the time, because most people are on Dueling Network and it's the easiest place people have to play. And if their experience, becomes really bad, or they have a, bad time with the website, they won't want to go on there as often. So I really would like to see some of these changes, and I'm hoping that you guys will post below and talk about some changes that you could think of to make the service better for everyone out there. So the first change that I think could really improve Dueling Network would be some type of a chat channel interface, having separate chats, having a chat for rulings and a chat for looking for people to duel and tournaments, and there's a million different things. Ways to make your own chat channels that would be extremely useful for people that want to talk together and play together and set up things. Obviously, some people think this won't do much because people will just obviously go to whatever channel they want. Obviously, there should still be a default channel, a general channel, but I still think having channels for specific things would help a lot. A lot of people ask for questions and have rulings, and they are in the mess of the whole general channel, which does not help at all. So a general channel just overall, I think hurts the service more than anything, because there's just so many people that it's like watching a Twitch stream that has like 100,000 viewers. What's the point of chatting at all? So I just think if channels were split up, people could talk a little more about what they want to talk about. It could be a lot better, just in general. So the second thing that I think could really use improvement on Dueling Network is moderation. So obviously they try to hire admins a good amount, and there's a very good test for it, and it's definitely it's a test worthy of making someone know what they're talking about. But I don't think, as far as moderation goes, it really does that much. The admin times are still very long. The chat is pretty terrible. So I think a couple big things they could do. They really need to hire chat mods. I know they're against this because they don't want people to be a chat mod that doesn't have knowledge of the game, but it's really not that hard to just have someone who filters the chat or changes, some kind of thing around that bans users that spam, things like that. It's really not that hard to do, and they should hire people that do that aren't knowledgeable about the game. That's fine. Just have those people not talk to users about stuff. Just have them, enforce chat rules and stuff like that. It really drags down the chat again, like I was saying before. There's a lot of, racist, sexist, spamming, a lot of, advertising. All that stuff is in the general chat. So I think they could really use some better moderation for that. As far as admins for the actual game, it's hard to say what they should do to improve upon that, except keep hiring more mods, and just do that more regularly. Obviously, they're all volunteers. That's also a big, issue. If people were compensated for doing that, it probably would be a better service. But there's some other things I'm going to get into that might help speed that up as well. So another feature that, this is just something that I came up with that I think could be a really cool feature, is some type of like guidebook inside the website, like an icon you click on that just brings you to this, like, a part of the website that just, tells you a lot of basic stuff about using the website, like, building decks and talking with users and what certain terms mean and basics for playing the game and things like that. Just a guidebook in general that teaches you how the website works, because even if you do know how to play the game, you might not be as familiar with how the website works. So I think like just a small little guidebook could be a really great feature, just to show things. There's so many common questions that people ask that could be answered in something like that. So I just think that could be a really great feature, and there's a lot you can actually do with that idea. So just something I'm throwing out there. Along with that, I think there should be some type of like practice mode or tutorial mode in the game that just teaches you maybe how to play or how to use the website. A lot of people probably won't understand why I think this is such a good idea, because a lot of people are like, well, I know how to play the game. That's just stupid. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people want to come to this website and learn, or they want to come to the website and just see how it works. So I just think a small little thing. They don't really need AI. They could add an AI. They could just have like a little tutorial mode that just teaches you basics. So many things these days, as far as gaming goes, has those type of features. So I really think something like that could be really useful. Another feature, along with the chatting, they just need better chatting overall. Better friends list, better ways to communicate. They just need to make it more intuitive, because the way the friends list works and all that stuff, and and searching for users and chatting with them is really not easy at all, and it's really annoying. And they could really improve that a lot just by adding a few, minor changes to that. Another feature that I think would be really good, I think this was in some type of pro program back then, maybe the Kaiba one, I'm not sure, but I think they should have a list of rulings going along with each card. So basically, maybe with the drop-down menu on the cards, there can be a little thing that says rulings, and you just bring up all the rulings for that card, because there's a lot of specific rulings for each card that you might not know of that could be really useful. And that would solve a lot of really easy disagreements. So something like that could be very easy to implement and could be very useful. They also should add something to the program for cards that don't work, like exchange and just some new things that maybe aren't coded and things like that. They should really add something to that, like some kind of notification or or not let them use those cards. They really need to do things like that, because people are just using those cards and not understanding what to do. And they either need to fix those cards or have something in the game that prevents people from using them, or letting them know that they're currently broken. Along with that, they could do a lot of little minor things to improve individual cards, making searching easier, and a lot of other stuff, but that I could probably get into with a whole nother video. But these are just more general features that I think they should add. Another thing that this is kind of debatable. This is totally optional, but I think that's something that could be useful is more information in the actual duel, more information on what's on the field, on how many turns there's been since certain things. I think some of the stuff could be a little bit automated. I know they want to stay away from automation, but if you can add like little minor things, like maybe a way to change the attack points of your cards on the field so it reflects something that's changed on the field, I think that could be useful. There's a lot of ways you can improve things like that. There's just a lot of like little additional things you can add in that will give you more information, so you don't have to worry as much about keeping track. But I know a lot of people want it to be as manual as possible, so I can see why they won't want to have that type of feature in the game. Another really easy feature to implement could just be starter decks. I think everyone that makes an account should just start off with, a few basic decks that they can just mess around with, because a lot of people start the game and don't understand that they can't play right away. So I think that would be a really easy feature. Again, if you had something in the guidebook, it would tell you, how to go through a deck and things like that. So that might not be necessary, but I still think starter decks is a great feature for any type of program. If you play any of the video games for Yu-Gi-Oh, they all have a deck you start with. Obviously, you don't expect to play with no cards, so I think it would be very useful just to have something like that. And finally, something I'd really like to see is just kind of better information about news and things that are coming. They have a little like news information when you log in. Most people ignore that, by the way, but I think there should be better way to see new cards that came out, things you have to do, new ban lists, all that kind of stuff. I think they could do the news a little bit better. Maybe make a ticker, or maybe add in something when they log in, or maybe something with the guidebook, like I said, or maybe another icon that just has news on it. But I think they could do a lot to really integrate what's going on new with the game. And I think that's like the best part of the game, is knowing what's new and why the game is worth keeping on playing, because there's so much new stuff coming out, new cards and all this cool stuff. And they could implement that with a lot of things like tournaments and all kinds of stuff. That could be really good for the website and just bring in more people. So those are the features I've been tossing around. I've been thinking about this for a very, very long time. I do have other things I'm thinking about, but I don't want to bring them all up in one video. I really do want to hear from you guys. What do you think about the suggestions that I've brought up? What things do you think would be better for Dueling Network? How could it be improved? How could the feature be better for more people? I would rather that people don't go to Devpro because they don't like Dueling Network because it has certain issues. I don't think that's fair. I think it's fair for people to go to whatever they like more, which for me is currently Devpro, but it really shouldn't be because, the community is bad or anything like that. I think there's a lot of ways to improve things that can kind of make them on the same level and have both of them be great alternatives to each other, and just have people, enjoy the game more. I think a lot of people go on Dueling Network and enjoy it, but kind of have a sour taste in their mouth because of certain issues with it, which I really want to avoid. I want everyone who plays this game to have fun and have, success in what they're doing. But yeah, if you have any ideas, post below. Thank you guys for listening to me go on about Dueling Network, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.